So I was watching President Trump's rally, not in entirety, but sufficiently long to make some observations, and I actually enjoyed it. It's as far as speaking goes, I think Mr. Trump is really entertaining because his theme meanders through a maze of almost random topics, and you can never predict it. And it's really good for your dopaminergic system in the brain, because dopamine thrives on unpredictability. So, unlike Mr. Pence, who is very predictable, Mr. Trump's speech is always interesting, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's good for his presidency. Having said that, I did notice something, which is there's a similarity between Mr. Trump and Mr. Taro Aso's speech. Mr. Aso is a former Prime Minister of Japan, and he's currently a financial minister. And Mr. Aso also is known for making random small talks and sometimes dropping Freudian bricks and making people sometimes upset and so on. And so in that sense, Mr. Aso and Mr. Trump have a lot of things in common. And interestingly, Mr. Aso is also a business person. He comes from a rich, established business family. And although he's a minister and he's a member of parliament, he's also a shrewd business person who knows things in the world and how to deal with people and so on. So I think probably this style of Mr. Trump's of random small talks and telling anecdotes and going through the maze of topics almost in a random manner. It's probably typical of a business person because in business, you don't have to say something accurate, something academically correct, sensible. You just have to sometimes to make your point and impress people. And most of the time, the other party needs to listen to this person because they need to strike a business deal. So it's not a question of whether he or she is correct or is in the right state of mind. They just want to go ahead and make business deals. So probably this kind of environment have nurtured Mr. Trump's speech style, and which has some common themes with Mr. Aso. So we never know if Mr. Aso becomes PM. It's always possible. If and when Mr. Abe steps down, and Mr. Aso is sometimes considered as a likely candidate to succeed Mr. Abe. The Trump-Aso, summit might make actually really interesting, listening because these people are actually of the same thread. They come from similar background and they thrive on this throwing of almost random anecdotes. And I don't say it's good for Japan and U.S. relationships, but it's certainly an interesting idea.
Distance.